Welcome back everybody to another episode of Direct Comparison. In today's episode, we're going to be directly comparing the new Call of Duty World War II to DICE's World War I epic Battlefield 1. Yes, both games feature different wars, but there's still some easy comparisons we can make thanks to both wars using the same weapons, and having similar architecture in the European environments. So let's start by looking at some direct weapon model comparisons. The bar has some interesting differences between the two games, and it's difficult to tell which one is more authentic, but they both are fantastic gun models either way. There's a slight difference in camera angle which can skew some of the scaling comparisons, but we can still see the same details and directly compare texture quality and lighting. The textures appear to be more defined in Battlefield 1, which is no surprise considering how much more powerful the Frostbite engine is. But Call of Duty still manages to cram a lot of great details like scratches on the surface that help the model look more believable. What really makes Battlefield look better is the lighting. I'm not sure what's up with the lighting in Call of Duty World War II, but it has this really weird filter that takes away a lot of the color in the scenes. There's also a lot of exaggeration with muzzle flash that looks a bit ridiculous in Call of Duty when it's compared to Battlefield. Next, let's look at the classic 1911. We see some similar comparisons here as we did with the bar. The level of detail is good in both versions, but the lighting provides an extra layer of depth to the pistol in Battlefield 1, providing a superior design. Again, the muzzle flash is ridiculous in Call of Duty, and Battlefield has some impressive effects along with some significant motion blur that Call of Duty doesn't seem to have. The Lewis gun has some drastic changes between the two games. The Lewis gun in Call of Duty has more dirt details along the gun that don't change throughout the match, whereas the default Lewis gun in Battlefield 1 has a clean design. Both games feature dirt buildup on the weapons, but the dirt fades away quickly in Call of Duty. Again, the textures in Battlefield are simply a higher resolution, and the color quality is vastly superior in Battlefield, giving it a more pristine look. Next up, I threw a few simple frag grenades in both games to observe the explosion. The grenades are technically different, but the effects should be the same for the sake of this comparison. As expected, the Battlefield explosion is much more realistic, with dirt flying up in multiple directions, whereas the Call of Duty explosion just looks like a gigantic fireball. The smoke effects look pretty good in both games, with multiple layers and high resolutions for both. The smoke fades much quicker in Call of Duty, almost disappearing within a second, but Battlefield's smoke seems to linger more realistically. Shadows look much sharper and more defined in Battlefield 1. There weren't very many locations in Call of Duty that showcased the same level of shadow quality, and I noticed several trees in the game world didn't even cast any shadows at all. But the trees that did had some really soft shadow effects that you can barely make out. Battlefield, however, has dark shadows with a high level of detail that looks much more believable, and likely contributes to the better lighting in Battlefield overall. Now, for the remainder of this video, I'm just going to play some gameplay comparisons that don't really directly compare, but it should give a better idea of the environment and overall graphical differences between the two games. I hope you found this video interesting, and if you did, make sure to like and subscribe for more content posted every day.